V-mark. 3, 2, 1, action!
This season is a little bit surprising. It certainly surprised me.
Season 3 is the real kind of climax of the whole story, which makes it the most dangerous season.
This season is definitely action-packed, and the battles are on a completely different level. I think every director has really wanted to get right into the action, right into those shield walls, getting really down and dirty. I mean, we're sliding around on blood, mud, snow, rain. It's terrifying.
We've got 3 big battle scenes within this season, so it's giving each one of those a different heart.
I think the battles are exceptionally well done, on a tighter budget than you have on some of the other big shows. They're not battles for the sake of battle, they have a story to tell.
Jesus, get me up, man!
There's always a challenge of how do we do this? How does this one play out slightly differently? How is a Jeopardy different? How has Uhtred got the smarts to succeed? With our first battle in the opening episode, it's much more about scale and numbers. Uhtred and his team, we were talking about 400 or 500 men on their side, and then they are swamped by the Danes.
We have the numbers, and we love the gods.
Odin's warriors!
Bloodhair is mad, actually. He wants power, he wants glory, and he doesn't really care. He wants it all.
There's a huge animosity between Bloodhair and Uhtred because Uhtred steals his woman.
No Saxon leaves this field alive!
The battle itself was a shield wall battle. It's kind of quite nice for the fans that it feels familiar, and then we get into the thick of the battle.
One thing I've always thought was very brave about how they wanted to film The Last Kingdom is it's very much right within a battle. And I think that really makes you appreciate how dangerous and violent and grisly those moments can be. A lot of handheld shots to make you feel like you're really there.
The time spent on the battlefield, those are great fun. Levente Lejac, who's our fight coordinator, does a brilliant job every season, rehearsing and studying up the stunt sequences.
I always trying to create new and new actions and interesting camera positions, for example, to show an action we never see before. The production gives us enough time to work with the actors and to train them. We have proper horse riding trainings and fight trainings forecast.
It's a lot of work, and Levente, the stunt coordinator, he doesn't give up. He really wants us to be our best and own it. So we had this huge fight that we rehearsed for weeks, and it pays off. When you do it, you can do the whole sequence. We actually did the whole fight. We worked it for a whole day, and we did the whole sequence over and over again.
They are really great, not just great actors, but they are really great stunt guys. It's very easy to work with them. Ola is a very good fighter, for example. He has a huge double blade axe in the show, and he uses really like a martial artist master.
I had to practice a lot with that axe. You just have to practice all the fights, all the movements, and it's just hard work to really, give the impression that we own it. And I think it's going to be a great fight.
Now we have more than 100 people, just stunt guys, in one battle, and of course many action extras around them. So when you are there, you can really feel something from a battle. I think it really appears on screen.
They are beaten!
We're much more excited by trying to achieve practically, so doing the proper stunts and trying to make it look as realistic and raw and ugly as possible, and then help that out with visual effects.
We have 300 men here to recreate our battle, which we need to make look like 2,000 men. So where we can't get this in camera, visual effects step in and we fill out the back of our shot with CG troops. We're doing this in a combination of ways today. We're shooting elements of our troops against blue screen, which we'll use to populate the background. And for some of our wider shots, we'll be using fully CG 3D models of the troops. We shoot our guys on blue screen individually, as it's easier for us to then isolate them, duplicate them, and make them appear like hundreds of men in the back of our shot. The whole process will take several months from beginning to end, during which time we'll also be having to come back out to Hungary and oversee what visual effects will be needed for the further episodes.
Lord! Lord!
The second battle we do, which is at Björnfjord, Uhtred and his team are completely outnumbered and are surrounded by Heston.
Heston and his men, they seek out Uhtred because he wants revenge. We end up fighting in the snow. That was amazing.
I want the head of Uhtred Ragnarsson!
We are left waiting for Alfred and Edward to come in and save them. Alfred won't make a decision and leaves it to Edward to show that he is taking command of the troops.
For Essex and for the King! For the King!
When I lead the army into this incredible battle, which was episode 5, that was so much fun to film, and hopefully it'll be wicked to watch because it was amazing doing that on horseback.
I have a small farm close here, and we have 11 horses, and of course they are all trained for films and for shows. Our horses are very calm and very cooperative, and it's easy to ride them. And that's the key thing for an actor, to concentrate on his part in the show and not, you know, fear for his life on a horseback.
I'd never ridden a horse before, and to kind of have that training with Levente was incredible. The training we did on the horses, we did in a week. It was such good training that you had time to kind of make a connection with the horse. And then when it came to being on set, it all kind of starts piecing together. Once you then start putting in sword fighting and riding in, it's a huge step up. And you've just got to like throw yourself into it.
It's Edward and his army!
It was definitely a challenge this year just to shoot that one battle that we had, which was completely in the snow. I think it's going to be worth it because I think on screen it's going to look epic, but we would arrive in the morning in a completely snow-covered clearing in the forest, and by noon we would be ankle-deep in mud. And so once you go down, you're wet, and when you're wet, you're freezing. I was so impressed with all the extras and all the stunt guys that stuck it out with us for that week of filming, because it was cold.
A couple of cold waves coming in from Siberia into Europe, and Siberia is cold, even when it's traveled for a couple of weeks. It's immersive and it puts you in a state of alertness.
Spending 5 hours in this complete freezing shield wall, it does add a bit of a color to your performance, I believe. I definitely feel it changes something.
Really, really cold, and I'm used to, you know, being from Scotland, it being pretty freezing, but man, this has been a whole new level. So when you watch the show, you think, oh my god, their acting's fantastic, it's like they're freezing. Yeah, it's because we actually are freezing. A lot of the feelings and a lot of the looks that you'll see on camera are pretty real.
Everything just added to the kind of grittiness and rawness that it would have been like in those times. Just added this whole new level to what we were shooting.
Kill every last one of the bastards!
It gets incredibly muddy with 300 crew churning up the earth all of the time, orchestrating all of those people, all of the different moving parts, alongside shooting for 6 days in the cold conditions and varying degrees of snow coming and going. It becomes very tiring and labor-intensive. That said, what we achieve on camera is worth it because it's fantastic. It just brings a whole new quality to it, as I say, an authenticity to me.
I quite like filming in the snow. I love it, actually. I prefer the snow to the rain. However, continuity-wise, that's very, very tough. A lot of it is going to have to be CGI.
Throughout this entire sequence, we're going to have to be adding in snow plates into the background to top up the snow on the trees and to re-augment the ground and bring the snow levels back up on that. We've also found ourselves having to add falling snow into certain shots as well due to, again, changing weather conditions.
Watching the stuff just happening when there's loads of extras, loads of cast, the mud, the snow, it's amazing to watch.
All the Danes are teaming up against the Saxons, and it's probably one of the biggest battles we've faced in the 3 seasons.
The big battle which we shot in the forest, we probably had about 400 people there over 2 or 3 days shooting all of those battle sequences, a lot of stunts, 100-odd stunt players every day, along with our key cast.
The great thing that the show has is our cast are exceptional at doing the battle sequences themselves. They're so rarely doubled, and that makes a huge difference, because when you see Uhtred jumping over shield walls, it's those guys doing it.
I'm really lucky with the actors because they have very good martial art background. They are not just good fighters, but they have very good ideas. So, for example, it's very easy to work with Alex because he's not just a good fighter, but he really feels which looks good on camera. And he has very good ideas what kind of fight technique we can use. They can do all their stunts. I don't have to use stunt doubles for them for the fight. So, and I think it gives something for the screen as well.
It's pretty harsh this year. There's quite a few different violent scenes.
But we have definitely pushed the boundaries. The ambition is bigger. You know, you're under pressure to deliver more exciting battle sequences, but equally what we really enjoy is putting the camera in the battle, making sure it's all bloody and dirtied up.
When you have 300 guys going at each other with swords and shields, it's amazing.
How many battles, how many shield walls can you have and make them exciting, make them different, make them interesting?
We've really enjoyed figuring out how to make something really interesting visually, as well as giving them a story, and that's a lot of layers, so that's been, you know, a real challenge and really enjoyable.